Hello and welcome to camp. We are actually parked up in a beautiful spot in the southeast of Victoria, Australia, and we wanted to show you our 1988 Nissan Urvan Campervan with a pop top. So come on in and let me show you around. Come on in. So welcome to the van. This is Myrtle the turtle, and her name is Myrtle the turtle because she is old and slow, but we love her very much anyway. So this is the inside and the living room area and how it's set up 99% of the time when we're at camp. You would have seen outside we also have table and chairs to hang out under the awning outside in the shade. And yeah, so this is it. It's a nice size table for card games and other things. So let's get on with the tour and let's see how you like the rest of the van. Alright, so let's head on inside the van. It is, as you can tell, not a very big van, but this is the setup that we normally have during the day when we're just sort of hanging around. These two seats here actually have seat belts on them, so you can travel 3 people in the front and 2 people here in the back. They do also come with armrests, but we kind of remove those when it's just the 2 of us because they're kind of in the way a little bit. We've got the little table with no legs, which is really good for card games and stuff like that. And then these back cushions here, so you can seat 3 people on the side. Plenty of storage underneath here. You can even open this front cubby here and store a bunch of things underneath the seats and access it like that. And these cushions here actually become part of the bed at night. So I'll show you some footage of that in a little bit. Up here we keep, there's actually 5 of these net windows across the van. So there's one in the way front, which is covered by our bedding at the moment. And then we've got 2 on each side inside, which is really nice for airflow. It's been a pretty hot couple of days, so we've been away camping. And obviously we can open up the back door as well. I've just shut it now for the wind and everything. So it certainly is not a large van on the inside, but this here is the seating area, and this entire area becomes a bed at night. My partner is 6'3", so his feet tend to stick out a little bit at the end, but I will include some footage here of what it looks like when we've got the bed all made up with a little mattress topper, which we store up here in the day. It's actually a really comfy bed. Can't complain at all. You might also be wondering what that hole in the middle is for, and we actually have a leg which is stored under the seat over here. And we have a large tabletop that's stored in one of our cupboards. So I'll include some footage here of what that table looks like when it's all set out. Really mostly useful if you're more than 2 people. So 99% of the time, this little guy is what we use. Underneath the table, we've got this little compartment. It's a sliding door compartment. It doesn't fit a whole lot, to be honest, but that's where we keep our first aid kit and a couple of other bits and bobs, so we don't really need to access all that often. Underneath this seat is basically most of our garage, so this is where we keep like jumper cables and stuff like that. And this one here is currently full of my birthday presents because we've been away camping after my 40th birthday. But this is normally where we put our sleeping bags and all that kind of stuff when we are sort of packed up at home. But it's really good for storage for things like towels or big things if you want to bring stuff like that with you. We've got a couple of other nifty storage things as well. So these handles here, or these armrests rather, actually open up and store things in it. So this one here houses this table. So we take this off when we're driving and that goes in there securely. In this pocket here, which is open, we normally keep things like our sleep kits. We have some, I'm just trying to find whatever's in here, my head torch. I think we've got some binoculars and other things in here, but this is really handy because it's kind of like a nightstand. And then this one also opens up similar to what I showed you before, and this one has all of our card games, some notepads and things like that. But again, easy access when you're hanging out in the van. And finally, this bench here actually has quite a bit of storage. So like I showed you before, it opens from the front. You can also lift it up like this, but essentially it's just got like picnic blankets. We've got our leisure battery in here. At the way back of this cupboard, we've also got like our fuses and things like that. But this is pretty much the first one we open when we arrive to a campsite. It's also where we keep like our electrical cables if we are at a powered site. Well, that is essentially the van in its most tidy form. Anyone who lives in a van would know that carpet is not ideal for a van. This gets dirty so quickly. I cleaned it for you guys for the tour. But yeah, like honestly, we can be somewhere for 5 minutes. I think this is marine carpet, so it's pretty durable. We like it a bit, but if I had my way, I would probably do like a laminate flooring or something that's super easy to clean. Alright, so let's look at the back of the van. So we have an area up here at the top, which you can see. This is actually what we call our bathroom in here. I found this really handy thing that you can open both from the top and from the front, because as you can tell with this pop top ceiling here, when it's folded down, this is where the roof line goes. So this fits beautifully underneath here, and we literally just have our toiletries, some soap, our towels when they're dry, and that kind of stuff goes in there. And it's really handy that we also can open it from the front when the roof is all the way down. This actually used to have a microwave, but we took that out when we got the van because we never use a microwave and we're rarely in campsites with power, but right now we are. Continuing along on the top here, this is when we have power. We usually have our charging station up here, some tech stuff. If you watched my minimalist packing video, you know that I try to use packing cubes. So in here we just have some chargers, our little portable speaker, and a couple of things like that. And here at the back, important actually, is the rubbish. So I have a fairly large bag that I use for recycling, and for rubbish bags I actually use dog poopy bags, because when you're camping and it's just the two of you, you don't actually need a ginormous garbage bag. So that's what I use. Continuing along here, you will see that we have, it looks quite large, but it really isn't. We have a fridge freezer here. I'll give you a sweep of what that looks like inside. This is an old, what's called a 3-way fridge. It's an old Electrolux from, I don't know, sometime in the late 80s. So it runs on battery power and it runs on gas as well. So it's really handy to run it on gas when we're off grid. Down here, this is actually sitting on top of the back wheel well. So I'll include some footage of this cupboard here. It's basically just our junk drawer. We keep some tape, some candles, some all sorts of things down there. And over here we have the two kind of largest cupboards in the van. The back one over here, this one is actually our pantry, which has two nice big slide out drawers and some room on the bottom, which is really good for larger bottles or things like that. The one on the bottom down there, we have our little cooker. We have like a little one burner cooker that we use quite a lot when we're off grid and we don't have power. We also have sort of a bit of a garagey kind of thing down there. We have extra toilet paper, our cleaning supplies, all sorts of things live down there. And then this one here is actually our closet. And as a minimalist, I do love to organize things, but this one has been a bit tricky. It's actually got this hanging rail up here, which I think is a bit strange. I don't know why you need hanging clothes in a camper van, but we've just put one of these dividers, and on the bottom there we keep our dirty washing. This is also where the tabletop lives for that leg that I talked about before. So this is storing away nicely here, nice and secure, doesn't rattle around at all. And all the doors have these sort of latches, which means that they do stay shut when you drive, except the pantry that has a little thing like this that you have to close. If you don't close it, it goes flying when you're driving down the road. And here on the other side we actually have the main kitchen bit. So here we have a little electric hot plate and toaster oven, so we just lift this up. I'll show you here what that looks like when it's all set up for cooking and cleaning. Underneath here we have the cutlery drawer, so just your normal stuff in there, and again a little latch on it because if we don't close that it goes flying open when we're driving. This is on top of the wheel well, so these cupboards here we have some pots and pans, but they're really odd kind of shapes, but it actually fits a surprising amount of stuff under there as well. So fairly functional kitchen. We also have a little sink over here, and look, it works okay. We've got an electric water pump which runs off the battery, so we can use that even when we're off grid. And we haven't worked out exactly how big it is yet, but we think we have about a 20 to 30 litre water tank underneath the van, which you fill from the outside. So that's essentially the back of the van. It is actually reasonably spacious, and my partner is 6'3", so when the pop top is up, he can actually stand reasonably comfortably in here. We don't often use this cooktop, to be very honest. Even now we're in a powered campsite. As you can probably see, there's some vans around us, etc. But to be honest, we cook outside most of the time when we're camping. But in case we do cook inside, we also have a combined fire and carbon monoxide detector up here. Really important because we do have gas in the van that powers this fridge here. So we quite like it. If I had my way, I would probably do it slightly differently, but that said, this is a van from 1988, so it's okay that she is the way she is. And while we're on the note of her age, you might be quite amazed at how good quality, like this is the original cushions and everything, and they are brilliant. Thank you so much for joining our van tour today. I would love to hear from you, especially if you have an older van. What have you changed? You know, what do you wish you could change? With this one, we're not going to do a whole lot of changes to her. We kind of like her the way she is, but we probably will upgrade to a more modern van sometime in the not too distant future. So leave some comments below what you liked, what you didn't like, and what you have in your van that works really well for you. All the best, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.